Hello, and thank you for joining today's session. My name is Steve Bauk. I'm president of Solution Synergy, and I'll be your host for today's session. Solution Synergy is a firm that specializes in identifying and evaluating emerging cybersecurity solutions. Today, I want to walk you through why legacy remote access is so vulnerable to attacks and how protocol isolation and disconnected access are transforming the way organizations protect their most sensitive systems. By isolating protocols, preventing direct endpoint connectivity, and streaming encrypted pixel-based sessions, healthcare organizations can deliver a more secure, manageable, and compliant remote access approach, unified for the entire enterprise, including both IT and OT environments. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear understanding of what next-generation access control looks like, how it fits into a zero-trust strategy, and why leading healthcare organizations are adopting these capabilities right now. Regardless of which industry you work in, and despite being very different operationally, traditional access methods, particularly VPNs, are not designed for the threat landscape these industries face. They expose systems to unnecessary risk and create significant operational overhead. This slide gives us a closer look at traditional VPN remote user access and what it requires. You can see several layers of infrastructure, VPN policy managers, jump servers, MFA servers, all working together just to support remote connectivity. These environments evolve over time and become extremely complex with the addition of segmentation firewalls, cloud firewalls, legacy IT services, and back-end SCADA and ICS systems that must all remain updated and available. The biggest issue is that once a user connects over the VPN, all of your protocols like SSH, RDP, and VNC are all completely exposed and unprotected. What does that mean? It means that even though encrypted tunnels exist, that encryption only protects the data in transit. It does not prevent credential theft or session hijacking, interception, or lateral movement. Attackers can intercept or exploit those sessions, get at the data that is inside the data stream. In other words, the VPN may be encrypted, but the protocols and systems behind it are fully exposed and reachable from a hacker's perspective. On the left, you have untrusted devices, third-party vendors, contractors, billing systems, and remote physicians, all connecting through that VPN tunnel that gives them direct network-level access. Once inside, they are effectively on the same network as critical infrastructure systems, which is why this model introduces such a high risk of breach and is considered only minimally secure in a modern IT zero-trust security framework. In recent years, some organizations have gone one step further and have implemented vendor-privileged access management solutions, VPAM. While this is an improvement over legacy VPNs, it's still not secure enough for modern zero-trust framework environments. Some of the challenges or problems, you still retain the complexity of the legacy VPN security stack and increase the complexity and maintenance effort by layering VPAM on it. Even with VPAM, the remote access still routes untrusted endpoints directly toward critical infrastructure. The protocols are still exposed and unprotected, creating opportunities, again, for interception, credential theft, and lateral movement. And encrypted data in transit remains extremely vulnerable because attackers can still tap into these connections. Again, VPAM is better than VPNs, but it does not eliminate the underlying architectural risk of untrusted devices having network-level connectivity into OT systems. It still depends on endpoint agents and shared credential workflows that increase operational risk. Now let me show you how Xona eliminates these weaknesses entirely using protocol isolation and pixel streaming technology. This slide highlights why Xona is so significantly different and more advanced at transforming remote access security for critical infrastructures. Xona inserts a CSG appliance that prevents direct access to any live data streams in order to prevent threat actors from inserting malicious code or commands into the conversation between the users, operators, and the IT/OT critical infrastructure assets. So you're probably asking, what is protocol isolation? Protocol isolation is available for the RDP, SSH, and VNC protocols. It confines use of these protocols to a specific trusted network location and isolates them from untrusted networks such as the external internet. In other words, it creates a secure barrier between the protocol and the end user. This instantly reduces the enterprise attack risk surface and protects systems against compromise and breaches by keeping all activity local and preventing the spread of malware and ransomware in the various OT/IT environments. So mission number 1 is complete protocol isolation. This disconnects the traditional attack surface created by VPNs and jump servers. Mission number 2 is we convert all system interaction into static pixel images, and these are streamed over HTTPS port 443. This instantly removes all risk of data interception. There's no raw protocol data, no files, no access to credentials leaving the secure facility. The encrypted data is in transit, but is no longer vulnerable because it's strictly image-based. Together, these two missions completely eliminate the high-risk VPN attack surface. This dramatically lowers breach risk and stops lateral movement, ransomware propagation, and session hijacking. This is a key point. All endpoint devices, regardless of their existing security posture, cannot compromise critical infrastructure because they never receive system-level access. Think about this for a minute. Organizations of all sizes spend lots of money on various endpoint monitoring tools to monitor PCs, endpoint devices for incoming attacks, but continue to leave the door wide open by using legacy VPN technology. With Xona, we create a very strong, secure, low-risk breach environment, isolating the protocols, and then we instantly eliminate your VPN high-risk attack surface. This is what makes Xona truly a next-generation access control platform. Complete disconnection between endpoints and critical systems without sacrificing any usability. We've already discussed two of the major benefits of Xona, isolating protocols and converting data into static images, which results in 100% reduction of insecure endpoint connections. But I'd like to highlight a few more important features. One is particularly helpful with vendor access. There is a waiting room capability where you can approve or deny their entry. You can also create just-in-time access or a time-bound access. Full session recording and logging is included, as well as optional password vault integration. This gives you total oversight and audibility for any external party touching your systems. Imagine, particularly in healthcare, if a third-party vendor accidentally forgot to turn a switch on or put something back in and it cost someone their life. The vendor obviously is going to say, oh, he didn't make those changes, but now you've got actual video evidence of watching him not turn that switch back on. Super helpful. This final slide brings together the three pillars of value that Xona delivers for an enterprise access control: security risk reduction, operational efficiency, and extremely strong compliance readiness. These benefits apply across both IT and OT environments. From a security and risk reduction perspective, Xona eliminates traditional VPN exposure. There are no inbound firewall rules. There's no VPN concentrators. It prevents lateral movement across VLANs. From an IT operations and architectural perspective, right off the bat, it simplifies your IT security stack. From an IT operations and architecture perspective, access is browser-based and agentless. There is no VPN client you have to install, so users don't need the VPN clients or jump servers. There are no changes to existing routing, VLANs, or network segmentation required, which significantly simplifies the deployment. Admins also have immediate control with the ability to kill sessions and lockout capabilities, improving both security and response time. And ultimately, this becomes one unified secure access platform for the entire enterprise, both IT and OT. From a compliance and audit visibility aspect, Xona records every session with full video, metadata, and event logs. This makes it much easier to meet standards like HIPAA, high-tech, and Joint Commission requirements. It also allows us to enforce time-based and role-based access controls, ensuring least privilege usage and complete auditability. If you like what you've heard today and would like to learn more, or would like to see how this architecture could assist your organization, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is listed below. Thank you very much for attending today.